Hi, welcome to Lake Gaston Estate's first cooking channel. First YouTube channel, I'm pretty confident. I am bored out of my mind, and so I decided I would cook something for you all and show you how we live off the land here in Warren County. I took inventory of our baking supplies and I found some coconut flakes which expired February 5th 4 years ago, and decided that I'd better just make chocolate chip cookies instead. So let's get started.
Let's start off with our ingredient list. I got this off the bag of chocolate chips that I used, so there's no trade secrets. We're going to start off with a bowl of flour, and because baking is a science, be very precise with the amount of baking soda and salt you use. It makes a difference. Then use a stick to stir them around because those ingredients absolutely do something for the food. And in a separate bowl, combine your sugars. I'm using a special type of brown sugar from the late 1970s. It's a little harder, almost like a brick. So you're going to need to use a spoon or maybe even a fork to chop that up and combine those ingredients. We're going to blend butter into this, but I don't have any, so I'll show you how we get some here in Warren County. If you have access to good quality butter, I recommend you buy the most expensive type because once that's melted in there with all that sugar, you will absolutely taste the difference. So we're going to combine our butter, and if you get these big chunks or it gets stuck in the beaters, it's a clear sign that you are too impatient to let your butter soften before you start cooking. To avoid this, just set it out an hour before you start making up your dough. Alternatively, you can just blitz the shit out of it until the friction heats up the butter. We're going to need 2 eggs for... Again, that's 2 eggs we're going to crack into a bowl. And if you get any shell in there, one trick instead of trying to fish it out is just to whisk the daylights out of it and break up all that calcium. It's just good for bone structure, density, stuff like that, science. Next, slowly pour your egg batter in. Oh, you know what? Vanilla. Pure vanilla. Don't skimp. Stir all that up. And you should get a mixture that's something like wet sugar. Add the rest of your egg, and next we'll go and prepare or harvest and prepare our nuts that will go in our cookies. Once you chop up your nuts, throw them in a pan with some butter and some Warren County cardamom, otherwise known as cinnamon, and give them a nice toasting for your batter. Combine your flour mixture in parts and use a small enough bowl so that a lot of the ingredients spill out on the counters. And the next thing you're going to do is waste your time scraping away at these beaters, or do what I do and just throw them in a glass of milk and let it sit there for a little while. It's a great drink later. I'm going to reserve a few of these chocolate chips to top off our cookies and make them look better than they actually are later. Now we're going to mix in our chocolate chips and then our toasted nuts. Make sure to use a flimsy spatula that doesn't really do the job. Don't be tempted by the spoon. It may be more practical, but that's there solely for set design. The package recommends scooping out maybe a tablespoon size cookie, but let's face it, no one ever got through a pandemic through portion control, so make these nice and big, you'll thank me later. It's probably best to chill your dough before scooping it out, but this is a low budget film. Grab those remaining chocolate chips and top off your cookies. You want to make it look kind of sporadic, but also maybe calculated at the same time. Put a lot of thought into this because this ultimately will make the difference between a lot of likes on Instagram and maybe just a few from your friends that feel sorry for you. You want to get those pools of chocolate, really good looking stuff. Gonna pop these bad boys in the oven, 375 degrees for till they're done. Nothing like a good time-lapse video. Just watch all that sugar and butter and calories melt away into a brick of sugar and butter and calories. Really good stuff. They're gonna puff up here in a second. That's that baking soda working for you. Science! And there you have it. Delicious chocolate chip cookies. The only thing that would make these better is a pointless shot in the open air. Yeah, I walked all the way downstairs for that. But perhaps the most important thing about living off the land is giving back what you take from it. Yep, that's it. First case of goose diabetes. Do we have any cardamom?